record. Okay, this is ACI 4. We are on class 1. Today is the 16th of Jan 2025. Yeah, welcome back. And we will set our motivation first. So I invite you to set into a meditation posture and close your eyes. Think about where you are right now. Think about the challenges that you're facing right now. Think about the perfect world you would like to see. Know that what we are going to learn today will help us to create this perfect world. What we are going to learn today will help us to get from point A, where we are now, and reach point B, the perfect world we would like to see. We promise to put into practice. We promise we are going to use what we are going to learn today to help make this perfect world. And offer this perfect world to the teachers, the lineage of teachers that bring this knowledge, this wisdom to us. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. It's ACI 4, proof of future lives. Proof of future lives. Future lives. I already believe, I don't need proof. Do you believe in future lives or not? Can you type 1 in the chat if you do? And if you don't, you can type 0. Okay, because I think probably we are from Asia. So if you're very much like me, I grew up in the culture, right, in Asia, yeah, where I already believe past and future lives. Yeah, of course, there are past and future lives. You don't need to prove to me, I know that. Okay. and and we learn in ACI too, we say that our belief, the belief, you have this belief, right? The belief, the blind faith, or whatever you call it, that is extraordinary goodness from the past, right? You can pat your shoulder. Some goodness that we have done in the past, that we get attracted to the teaching, that we are still able to sit and listen and do all these things. And I want to show you one picture. Right? You can see this person, and then there's another being behind. That being behind is my past goodness, my past self, having done some goodness that they write into this class, that I just believe it and I can accept that. Right? Some past goodness I've done. Yay! And we learn in ACI too, we say that those blind faith or belief, they also come from our seeds, our past goodness, our seeds. And those seeds changing moment and moment, and it can wear out. Just like any other thing, any changing thing, things are changing. Whether you like it or not, they are changing. Okay, I'm not going to the unless, okay, we just say things are changing and they can wear off. So if that belief that comes from our past goodness, from our seeds, they can wear out. And then one day you say, oh, I'm not interested anymore. I don't want to hear anymore. Enough. And I thought it wouldn't happen to me, but it did happen to me. Okay? It did happen to me. When something so bad and serious that happened, you find there's so injustice or, some whatever it is, hit to the bottom, that I don't want a part of that. It happened to me. Yeah. When I'm happy, that I also have some goodness that bring me back. But of course, if you don't have a strong, if just based on six belief, you don't have a strong basis why you believe in that, right? Then it can easily throw you, you can just fall apart. Even I finish 1 to 18, that can happen to me. I told my team, it won't happen to me. And it happened. I'm glad I'm still here. So if just based on belief, based on seeds, they can wear out. That's one thing. Number two, if something get really, really hard, sometimes things happen in our life, we never know, right? Things get really hard, then we want to give up. Or I can give you an example, like you say, I won't steal. Of course, I won't steal. But if the circumstance is such that you are so desperate, you're in that challenging situation, you're pushed to the corner in life, you're so desperate for money, and you're in the circumstances where you are in the position to access the cash, and there's nobody. As long as nobody catch me, nobody see it, then it's okay to do that. If it's just based on belief, you tell your kid, do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, I do this. But when the circumstances is hard, circumstances, you're so desperate and you have access to the thing, you might do that. I'm not saying that you will, but you might. But if you understand your behavior, the consequences, it will, you will think more, right? You will consider more. Is it really you are going to do that? So logic is so important because they help us to develop this clear thinking, help us to grow our ability to think clearly, to have clear thinking. Logic. Kashila used logic thinking lately. Yeah. Clear thinking, logic. Help us to see more clearly. Grow our abilities to see clearly things that maybe we cannot see. I don't know. Right, that is one example just now I mentioned about the stealing. So as any other bad deeds can be sexual misconduct, it can be lying. If I lie, I'll get the contract. If I lie, I'll get that job. If you're pushed to that corner, you have a tendency to do that, you know, like myself. I left my industry for, I think, don't know, 10, 15 years, don't know how long I was in the child enrichment center. I have my own business, and I wanted, after I sold my business, I wanted to come back. My profession is I'm a trained chartered accountant, but I don't really practice. So when I want to go back to corporate, I met one of my ex-colleague long time ago. I never see him for don't know how many, 1 decade, 15 years, don't know how long, you know, that I met him, and he opened the door for me, and he's so kind to bring me, and he's so successful person, and he said, Rachel, you lie about this. You just tell them that you do this. And, you know, it's like, yeah, you know, I got nothing to offer. You know, if I turn this down, I will not get this chance anymore. So the mind is like, you know, you're struggling with that. If I lie, then I will get this, become the CFO. He's going to put me as a CFO when I don't know anything. Okay. So that is like a CFO in a company going to be listed. So that is an incredible opportunity, right? You will not want to blow it. And I tell myself, nah, I don't think so. Okay, I learned about this. I said, no, if it's meant to be mine, it'll be mine. Okay. So I said, sorry, I can't do that. Then he must be thinking, you're so damn stupid, you know. Okay, I already opened the door for you. I just tell you to lie on this one, so you're not winning. I said, now my. Then after that, I realized maybe I won't have any more chance. Okay, lah, forget about it, lah. You just stay at home, just do what you can do, lah. You know, you can help people. No need to become CFO. Okay, yeah. Then I said, okay, lor. Then, you know, like I said, it's a different seats, right? If I lie, I think I can get it. But even if I don't lie, I still get it. Hello. I still get it, and I got the offer. But I turn it down because I'm not willing to put in so much time. I'm thinking at my age, what's for? I want to work so hard, you know. I don't think I need that. Yeah, and then I aim for higher. I said, oh, what about I want to become independent director? I see it's easier. I don't have to go to work every day. And I just dream on it. You know, I said, dream big. Okay, dream big. And I have the seeds for that. And it happened. So what I want to say is that, yeah, in our life, it's always based, it's not that we are not using logic. When I say learn logic, you mean I'm not, is it like, are you implying that I'm not using logic in my life? It seems that way, right? We are using logic every day. We are using logic all the time. But our faulty logic, like I mentioned, if I lie, I will get the contract. If I lie, I will get to become the CFO. If I steal, then I will have money. If I steal, nobody see it, then that is okay. Those faulty logic that we have is the one that create the havoc in our life. So you have to test it out yourself. You have to test it out. I always tell my students, once you're in ACI 4, you have to, especially if you are new, I know many here are very experienced. You have to test out, especially by ACI 5. You must test out for yourself and see for yourself. I test out. I turn down. Okay. Okay. I turn down. Nobody in the right mind would turn down. It's a once in a lifetime, see. I turn it down. And guess what? You know, when I was like doing the medicine Buddha thing, and then I received the call, I said, oh, I put you as the candidate, you know. I said, oh, I'm so happy. And I said, don't be so happy yet. You're just a candidate only. Oh, I'm already very happy. I feel that I can get it already. And it turned out that the boss didn't want to interview me. Just leave it to my friend, consultant friend. And that's where I am. So it just shift in that way. Yeah. So they come from where? The underlying, not what we think, our faulty logic. If I lie, that I can get it. But that is how we feel in life, right? Sometimes really, if I lie, then I really can get away. So learning logic is to help us to have the clear thinking so that we have a strong ground why we have to do certain thing, okay, and to prove to ourselves. So we say all these things, we say, oh yeah, you learn this ACI, you know, this, okay. Oh, got Buddha, got Jesus or not, all this. So you prove to yourself. Do we have, is there a Buddha? Is there a Jesus? Is there this thing called Nirvana? No, I tell you, do like that, like that, like that, then you will see Nirvana. You do like that, like that, like that, then you do this, you know. So we want to prove to ourselves. So we have a strong ground. From beginning we mentioned, right? Otherwise, then if circumstances change, things get hard, then we will just, nah. That is a sales pitch. We learn from Geshe and teacher training. They always say you need to sell, like a salesman job, you know. That is my salesman job. Okay, I hope I'm still doing okay. Okay, so now we start our class. Logic, clear thinking. Okay. Okay, the first thing that we learn in logic is valid perception. Valid perception. Okay, say after me for blessing's sake. They always say, okay, sema. Sema is in Tibetan, it's called sema, valid perception. In Sanskrit, pramana. 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 Okay, valid perception. In Tibetan, sema, in Sanskrit, pramana. Okay, what is this valid perception? Just normal, unaffected perception. We will go into very, very detailed in class 3. In class 3, we'll learn what is it exactly, what is valid perception? Do I have valid perception or not? Why we need to learn valid perception? Because in Buddhist, in Buddhism, yeah, the definition of existence is that which is perceived by a valid perception. That which is perceived by a valid perception. So when you perceive something with valid perception, you just validate the things exist. Okay, nah? This one you have to memorize. This is in your homework, huh? This is in your homework. Okay, I want to read this Tibetan. Seme, Mikpa, Yupe, Seni. They always terbalik. So from the back, Seni means definition. Yupe means existence. The definition of existence is Mikpe, perceive. Mik is the eye. Mikpe, Seme, perceived by valid perception. Okay, so why do we learn valid perception? Because in Buddhist, the definition of existence is that which is perceived by valid perception. So when you perceive something by valid perception, then that thing exists. Okay, let me give an example. let me give an example. If you still remember the jealous lady, the one that come back, the lady, and saw the partner, the husband. You still remember that, right? This picture represents jealousy. When it came back and then saw the husband or the partner, and then I say, who are you talking to? Oh, no. Yeah, no, just nothing. Yeah. So then your heart feel like after dinner, you feel so uncomfortable. You're still thinking about that. When you go to sleep, you cannot sleep. You start to think about that. Who is that? Is he having some? Is he this? Did he have a girlfriend outside? Because some other girl outside, you start to have this picture in your mind of the girl in your mind, like long hair, big eyes, very slim. You have this picture coming out. So go back to the valid perception. Does this person, this girl, have valid perception or not? What we say valid perception? Normal, unaffected perception. When you have jealousy in your mind, your perception already affected. We say normal, unaffected perception is valid perception. So when you have jealousy in your mind is already affected, right? Your perception is not a valid perception. So what you see, things that you think you see, does not exist. Why? Remember the definition of existence, that which is perceived by valid perception. So the things that you have in mind does not exist because that is not perceived by a valid perception. When we are jealous, then we can actually talk ourselves to see something that is not there. Yeah, we can talk ourselves. You can talk yourself into seeing something that don't exist. Think about that. Just now I mentioned, what is valid perception again? Normal, unaffected perception. Why? To validate things exist, to establish existence. So when you don't have valid perception, then the thing never exists, right? When you have jealous, you're thinking, oh, that girl, must be this person, very beautiful, younger than me, long hair, big eyes, very fair, slim. But that person never exists, because it is perceived we are not perceiving it with valid perception. Okay, that's one example. Another example, anger. When somebody very angry, you cannot think straight. Your ability, your capacity to think straight is compromised, right? So what is valid perception again? Normal, unaffected perception. But your perception already affected by your anger. Already clouded already. So do you have valid perception or not? You see the person trying to not respecting me. You're angry with that person. You think that person is trying to belittle me. You're very angry, outbursts. You see people get angry that time, you got outbursts, isn't it? Things that in their mind, the thing that is in their mind exists or not? No, because it's not perceived by a valid perception. Can you see that or not? Right? Yes, normal, unaffected perception. Your perception already affected. So the thing that you perceive in your mind that you think you see doesn't exist. What is the definition for existence again? That which is perceived by valid perception. Okay? So that is in your homework question 2. We will learn in great detail what are the circumstances that we don't have valid perception in chapter 3. But generally, in the lower school, we have valid perception. It is valid. What do you mean by valid perception? Given the circumstances that we have, given the data that I have, given the information that I have, my perception is valid. We are in the lower school. Okay, but in the higher school, valid is not the same as correct. You have valid perception, but it's not correct perception. But now we are in the lower school. We will learn the higher school in ACI 13, if I'm not mistaken. So, my senses, my eyes and all these things, my senses, the things that I can see, I validate their existence, right? I validate their existence. They exist. The ears, things that I can see, things that I can hear, things that I can smell, things that I can taste, things that I can touch, I validate their existence. What about if the things that I cannot see, does that mean that they don't exist? I don't know. That's why we say we use logic. The logic is the clear thinking to help us to establish things that I cannot see, whether do they exist or not. If we can prove to ourselves that things that we cannot see, Buddha, Jesus, Nirvana, future life, if we can prove to ourselves by logic, using logic, then it's as good as we see it with our own eyes. Yes, our perception is from our seats. Okay, so we get some idea about what we are doing. Okay. And then, of course, we will say, oh, these things sound, So the next thing we want to know the source, correct? We want to know what you are saying. Is it from me? No, where does it come from? We want to know the source, correct? We want to know where, whatever you say, where does that come from? What is the text that you are using? So, the background, the source, come from India, going to Tibet, come from our Sakyamuni, Lord Buddha, 500 BC. Okay, and the text that we are using is Compendium on Valid Perception by Master Dignaga, 440 AD. Master Dignaga is also known as the grandfather of logic. And then we also rely on the commentary on valid perception by Master Dharmakirti, 630 AD. He is known as the father of logic. Okay, so we are using these texts and sometimes we cannot understand, so we need to rely on the more modern texts. Gao Sabje, 1364 to 1432, his year. Remember, he's one of the J. Tsongkhapa got two main disciples. He's one of the main disciples. Okay, and his book is Light on the Path to Freedom. And that is also too difficult for us. We rely on these texts, Jewels of True Thought by Geshe Yeshe Wangchuk. His year is 1928 to 1997. Okay, so this is in your homework question 3. We want to know, we are learning logic. Where does that come from? We want to know the source. Okay, so we have this lineage. It comes from the lineage. And why coming from the lineage is so important? We learn in ACI 1, chapter 4, that if what we learn is authentic Dharma, if we study, if we contemplate, if we meditate, then we will get extraordinary realization. We'll gain realization. It will transform your mind. Okay, so this is the authentic lineage that we have that you can trace. And it's so incredible. Okay, this is in your homework question 3, yeah? And they ask you to memorize also. I don't know how you memorize. My time also, I don't know whether how many I can memorize. But right now I can only remember the A, B, and C. I'm trying to memorize the Jewel of True Thought. Okay, the first one is Compendium on Valid Perception, Master Dignaga, the grandfather. Okay, 440 AD, easy. And Commentary on the Valid Perception by Master Dharmakirti, 630 AD, also easy. Then the next one is Light on the Path to Freedom by Gausab J. This year I cannot remember. It's 1364 to 1432. Right. Then the latest one will be Geshe Michael Roach. This year also difficult to remember. 1928 to 1997. This is in your homework question 3. And you also need to know, just for your extra information, remember the 5 Greek texts on Lam Rim we learned before? And what we are learning, logic and perception, is here. Is one of the Greek texts, one of the main texts in Lam Rim, logic and perception. And in the monastery, kids, 13-year-old kids, they start to learn logic. And they have 2 Greek texts. One is called Dura, Collected Topics, and one is called Takrik. Okay, these are the 2 books that they learn in monastery for this logic pramana. Okay, the collected topics consists of a couple of many subjects. Among others will be definition. Number 1, definition. They learn definition. Like if you're talking about the 4 elements, do you remember the 4 elements? Earth, water, fire, wind. So the definition for earth would be solidity. The definition for water will be wet and flowing. Wetness and flowing. The definition for fire would be heat and burning. Definition for air would be lightness and moving. So they learn definition, number 1. Number 2, they learn the outline of all existing things. Outline of all existing things. Yeah. I never thought about that. We learn in school, we don't learn all existing things. We learn in uni, we never learn all existing things, right? But they learn all existing things. And we learn about that. If you remember in ACI, I go and find out for you. Okay, all existing things. Remember? ACI 2, we learned that. Changing thing and unchanging thing. Changing thing can be physical, can be mental. Then physical can further separate into gross physical and subtle physical. So they learn all existing things, the outline of all existing things. And then they also learn this thing called chi chadra, quality and characteristics. Okay. Hang in there. I know it's very boring. When I learn about this, that I'll tell I say, ayo, what's what I want to learn about this thing, Ayo, just tell me, okay? I tell you, hang in there, let me finish. Okay. So Chi and Chedra is very, very important. You learn that in ACI 13. So this one is just to tell you an introduction. Okay. Chi, quality. Chi, Chedra. Chedra is a characteristic. Like example, car is a quality. Okay, characteristic will be you have Toyota, you have Mercedes, you have Proton, you have Mazda, you have Honda. Okay. So you will say, what is this? I thought it's very normal. I thought this category only. You'll be very surprised. Chi Chera is very, very difficult subject. Struggling with that, cannot understand for many years, also cannot understand, but try your very best, you see. It is so important because it is about how your mind is creating the mental image. You remember before you see emptiness directly, at the end of the second path, you see yourself creating and projecting dependent origination. You see how your mind is creating the mental image, and that leads us to seeing emptiness directly. And so the study of Chi Chedra is very, very important. They can help you, that lead you to seeing emptiness directly. Okay. So my teacher asked me to meditate on car, a car, the car, your car, my car. Okay. So it's really hard for years and years, Not but today because I practice, oh, finally I see the difference already. Oh my God. So you just try lah. Okay, if you don't get anything, doesn't matter. Okay, I want to tell you one thing. When you finish ACI 4, if anything you don't understand, okay, don't feel disappointed, don't feel frustrated. Because myself, when I finish ACI 4, I don't understand a single thing, to be very honest. And I get so frustrated. I say, that's not, that's not anything. I don't think it prove anything. Is that what logic is all about? Oh my God. Then I asked my teacher, I said, teacher, that doesn't prove anything. He said, just cook it. Okay. So I don't learn anything at all, So if you don't learn anything, just hang in there. Just hang in there. Yeah. And one more thing. Okay. Because Sheila said that when he taught ACI 4 back then, half of his students gone. So just bear with it. If you don't understand, just try to think, okay, if you can understand, okay, if you don't understand, just put it on the shelf. Just put it on the shelf. Then you will come. Like for right now, I can say I understand a little bit more than when I finished my ACI 4. I don't understand a single thing at all, And I hate ACI 4 so much, to be very honest. Maybe I'm not that intelligent. Okay, maybe other different people have different seats. Maybe you can hear it differently. So when I learned about this, I said, 13-year-old study this in the monastery. Okay, so they learn 2 books. Okay, they learn Dura, collected topics, and Tarik. Okay, the study of reason. So, okay, so what are the collected topics? Got 3 things inside. They learn definition. So what? Okay, then they learn all existing things. Okay, they learn Chi Chedra. All right, I don't know what is that. Okay, we also learn in school category. Okay. Then the other one, the Tarik, will be the study of the reasoning, how to make a reason, the concept of contradiction, the concept of relationship, principle of causation. You don't understand, I just mentioned it, okay? You learn in ACI 13. Even now, I don't understand that. So I don't know why they put it in that way. But one thing allow me to see the importance I want to share with you. This story about Kashila, he was in this New Jersey temple, the Mongolian temple in New Jersey. And there was an old Mongolian monk who was dying. And he was reading this book, Dura. We mentioned Dura, remember? I just say 13-year-old kid learn Dura in the monastery, and he was reading this Dura. So Kashila asked him, our Geshe Michael, our teacher, asked him, Kashila, you are dying. Why are you reading this Dura, 13-year-old book? Why are you reading that book? And he said, I remember that. He said, this is what I want in my mind when I pass on. This is what I want in my mind when I pass on. So think about that. There must be something that we don't know. So I say, put it on the shelf. Okay. I remember this story. Okay, I remember this story. And now I can see the connection finally a little bit more. So when we don't understand it, put it on the shelf. It can show you how important the subject is. Logic, the subject. That this old Mongolian monk who is dying is reading this 13-year-old book, Dura. And because the reason is, this is what I want in my mind when I pass on. And I think it's so beautiful. I can see that. Okay. So I'll show you again. If you don't know, doesn't matter. Just look at the answer. Okay. Just learn and just write it in your question 4. Okay. In your question 4. What are the two names of the two types of books used in a monastery for the elementary study of this subject? And name 3 subjects in these books. Remember I said they study 2 books. What is the book? Dura and Tarik. Dura is the collected topics, and then Tarik is the study of reasoning. Inside this Dura, inside the Dura, got many topics. Among them will be these 3 very important topics: definition and outline, and the quality and characteristic Chi-Chadra you learn in ACI 13. Okay? So you don't understand now, I just think about, oh, this is what I need to study to see emptiness. Cannot. This is what I need to study. What I'm studying, this logic will help me to see emptiness directly. And then what is so big deal about seeing emptiness directly? You know, when I study, every time they say, oh, your goal is to see emptiness directly, I don't understand. What is so big deal about seeing emptiness directly, you know? See emptiness directly. Every time ultimate goal, see emptiness directly. Many people, they're much better than me. They always can tell. I cannot quite tell. Always cannot quite tell. And I always, you know, but now I can finally see, oh yeah, I know why I have to see emptiness directly. Yeah, I'm quite convinced with that. Why? I want to share with you how I look at it. Um, okay. One is if you talk about relationship, sexual misconduct. Okay. We learn about the concentric circle. Remember the concentric circle, how not to reach the middle of doing this action. And we say, okay, you try not to stay with the lady or with the man alone. Okay, you will not reach this point. Okay, okay, you don't go and touch the lady, then you won't come to closer to that behavior. Right. You don't look at the lady, the pretty lady. Okay? Or you can think of that lady as your mom, is your sister. Does it help? Yeah, to a certain extent, they help. Okay? But ultimately, if you're able to see emptiness directly, that is really where you are able to cut the root. You're able to really help you to stop your bad thought and bad deed. Okay? Otherwise, maybe those solution temporary only. Sometimes maybe they help. But ultimately is to see emptiness directly. And I can give another example. Anger. You see a yelling person, yelling boss or yelling person, okay? Then you can think about, oh, maybe he is stressed, okay? Maybe he's hungry, he's tired. Maybe he quarreled with his wife, you know. He's a nice person normally, maybe today only he snapped. Okay. You can give a lot of reasons. Does it help? Yeah, they help to a certain extent. You have to be kind, be patient, okay? Yeah, kindness is a virtue, okay, right? It helps. But ultimately, what can really stop our bad thought and bad deed is to see emptiness directly. Okay. No other way. The rest of the way is only temporary. Maybe they help you, but ultimately, to cut the roots is to see emptiness directly. And when you see emptiness directly, you no longer believe that the thing is coming at you. They have some nature, want to yell at you from their own side. Okay. Even though you still see it that way, doesn't mean that it's not happening, doesn't mean that you're not hurt. Okay. But you, because the way you look at things is so different now, you will not want to yell back. Okay, it will help you. So logic is the one that really helped you to reach this stage of seeing emptiness directly. Otherwise, we have the faulty logic. She yelled at me, I have to be like gangster. I yell back or more fierce, then I can stop the yelling. Right? Our faulty logic. Loud, I must be louder than the person, or I might be more like gangster, then that can stop the yelling. Okay? And that is where it creates havoc in our life. Okay? Only when we really see emptiness directly, they can really permanently, remember nirvana is what? Permanent stopping of all our mental afflictions due to what they say, the analysis, right? Due to seeing emptiness directly. And we start by understanding intellectually, okay? And that helps us to build the seeds, to grow our logic, our clear thinking, to help us, to bring us to see emptiness directly. So how important is logic? We move on to the next person. We move on to this person. Who is this person? Geshe Tsongkhapa, right? He has two disciples. Remember I said got two disciples. This one that I point at, one is Gausap J, and this one is Kedrup J. Gausap J and Kedrup J. So Gausap J is the one of the two main disciple of Geshe Tsongkhapa. He was a very, 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 very most famous logician in Tibet before he met Geshe Tsongkhapa. And then one day he heard about Geshe Tsongkhapa. He heard that Geshe Tsongkhapa is going to give a lecture, going to give a talk. So he went there. Remember, he's a most famous logician, right? So he want to go there and challenge Geshe Tsongkhapa. So Geshe Tsongkhapa was giving a talk on the teaching throne, and then he went to the teaching throne, and he was sitting next to Geshe Tsongkhapa. He want to show him. Yeah, he want to, he was like, wow, I want to try to challenge him. And then while Geshe Tsongkhapa continued to teach, and while he was listening to the teaching, after a while, he came down from the teaching throne and sit with the audience. And by the end of the lecture, he actually prostrated. And he said, be my teacher. He asked Geshe Tsongkhapa to be his teacher. And what he said is very, very interesting. There's one thing that he said very, very interesting, why we bring here. He said that the kindest thing that Geshe Tsongkhapa ever did for him is to teach him logic. Can you imagine that? He said the kindest thing that Geshe Tsongkhapa ever did for him is to teach him logic. That shows us how important logic is. Okay, this is in your question 5, homework. It has been said that studying this subject is the key to Madhyamika, the key to understanding emptiness. What did Gausap J, the great disciple of Geshe Tsongkhapa, say about this subject? So even though we don't understand, put it on the shelf. Wow, if they say like that, so many people say, so it gives us something. Maybe there's something we still haven't got it, For me, I look at it this way, maybe I still haven't understand it well enough. Yeah, so put it on the shelf. If he can say, why the kindest thing? I thought the kindest thing would be to teach you, emptiness. Yeah, that is how they teach you emptiness. To me, that's how I look at it. Isn't it? Understanding logic, clear thinking. What is clear thinking? Ability for you to see clearly, you grow your ability to think clearly, you're developing your third eye. You're able to see through your third eye, things that you cannot see with your eyes. Like, do we have future lives? Is there Jesus, God, Buddha or not? Is there nirvana? So if we can prove to ourselves, if we can prove to ourselves, then we will find that suffering is not necessary. Death is not necessary. And then nirvana is possible. It's possible. What is nirvana? Permanent stopping of all our negative emotion forever, because we see emptiness. And okay, and now we come to this logic. This is the logic that Lord Buddha taught us. He said, I or someone like myself can judge a person, but no normal person should judge another, for he or she will fall. I want you to say it 3 times, I or someone like myself can judge a person, but no normal person should judge another, for he or she will fall. You can try to close your eyes and try to see where can you say it or not. I or someone like myself can judge a person, but no normal person should judge another, for he or she will fall. Okay, this is in your question 6, homework question 6, where you have to memorize this, you have to memorize this. And it's very deep, and when my teacher taught me, I said, this is the logic. I said, what? Okay, this is only, like that already logic. Okay, I or someone like myself can judge a person. Who is this I? This is Lord Buddha. Okay, are you someone like Lord Buddha? He said, I or someone like myself. Lord Buddha said, I or someone like myself. Are you like Lord Buddha? If you're like Lord Buddha, then you can judge a person. But no normal person, or are you a normal person? Or are you a normal person? If you're a normal person, then you should not judge another. Why I cannot judge another? For he or she will fall. Here, for he or she will fall means fall to the 3 lower realm. Means fall to the 3 lower realm. Okay, so you say, why he can judge, I cannot judge, double standard. Why he can judge, I cannot judge. So we have to see whether are we like Lord Buddha or are we a normal person. So we need to see the difference first. So Lord Buddha, what is the difference between an enlightened being and a normal person like me? Okay, an enlightened being, they have 4 bodies. You remember in ACI 1 we learned, in ACI 2 we learn again, right? There are 4 bodies, and one of the bodies is called omniscient mind. Okay, mind that can see past, present, future, that can see everything, all existing things in the universe. But what about me? Am I like Lord Buddha that can see everything? No, I cannot see everything. So I'm a normal person. In that case, then I'm a normal person. For me, I'm a normal person. Because I can only see this little, my capacity to see is so limited. I can only see right now. I can see maybe 1 hour ago. Like this morning, maybe you ask me, I need to think, okay? Or you talk about yesterday or 3 months ago. I cannot even see that. I can't even remember. Last year, I cannot even remember. Right? So what I can see, my capacity to see things is so limited. And if I judge, right, based on that, that will means I will fall. So I can give an example like okay, maybe I am in a office, okay, and you find somebody that is really piss you off, very annoying, the way the person talk, and then the performance also no good. You say like a bit lazy, like not responsible, right? So that is what I see. And based on that, I'm very sure this person is a terrible person. I go and badmouth this person. I go and tell Jocelyn, okay, I tell all my colleagues, tell all the people around me, hey, you know, how this person, so terrible, what, I badmouth. Then I talk harshly to that person because I don't like that person. And then I exclude that person. I don't want to include when we have something to do. We don't want to include that person. Can you see that or not? Yeah. What I have is so limited. And then based on that, I make a decision. And my behavior is based on that. And then I collect those things that cause me to fall. Fall here means fall to the tree lower realm. Because I plant bad seeds. So logic helps us to see clearly. Jenny said, judging is seen as negative. Why does Lord Buddha use this word judging with omnipresent? What is omnipresent? Yeah, judging seems to be a negative word. I also feel that way, Jenny.
So if omnipresence is the state of being everywhere at once, I'm just trying to correlate what Lord Buddha is thinking at that point in time when he says he himself can judge, but not the normal person. So I'm just trying to understand the correlation here because yeah, he's in the omnipresence, so he can see people, but would he still be judging them or looking at it in a different way?
I like the way you put it, Jenny. Probably the translation they should have, if there is maybe another word would be better. Yeah, because the judging seems to have a connotation of a negative, right? In a negative connotation. So probably not in that context, probably more like because if he can see, can read our mind, right? He can see everything, then he know everything instead of like judging, right? He know everything. For me, I would prefer to look at it that way. But for me, I cannot read your mind. Who is Jenny exactly? I don't really know. I don't really know. I cannot read her mind. I don't know her motivation. And yet I pretend as though I know her. I pretend as though I understand her and what she's doing, who she is. And based on that, our behavior, our decision, why logic is important is because we make decision based on that. Yeah, our behavior and our decision. Remember, we say it's not that we don't have logic, we have logic all the time, but we have this faulty logic that we that we come from then and they create havoc in our life. And I think I know you, and I think I know that person next to me, and I think I know my son. I think I understand the people around me. I think I'm so clever. Yeah. But I don't really know them. I don't really know their motivation. I cannot read their mind.
I agree because I think we validated through what we see as our perception, who the
Yeah.
person is, so we start to judge them.
Yeah. And so I think the implication would be when we see somebody doing something strange, right? Then we start we start to judge this person, then we start to badmouth, we exclude that person, then we talk maybe harshly because I don't like the person. I think this person is so irresponsible, so bad. Huh? And then And what are we doing? Yeah, because based on this limited information that we have, and we think as though we know everything. And so logic actually protect us. If you look at it, logic actually protect us. So I have a thing would be like, if, that means if you saw somebody A beat B, you see domestic violence. Okay, let's say for example, you see the husband beat the wife, okay, or maybe the wife beat the husband, okay, whatever, okay. So how? So how? Lord Buddha said, I or someone like myself can judge a person, but no normal person should judge another, for he or she will fall. So no need to don't judge. Yeah, we don't know what is happening. Let it be. That is also not correct. Okay. Okay, we have to stop that. We have to protect the person. Yes, we don't know what is happening. Yes, based on my limited information that I have, I cannot read the mind. I don't know the motivation. I cannot see the working of the karma. But I can call the police. Okay, I can get help. You have to protect the person from being beaten. Okay. But doesn't mean that you go and beat the person. Just protect the person from being beaten. But you see some people, they judge, right? Then they go and beat the other person. So I think that I want you to spend, let me see, we have the time. I want you to think about 1 minute, and you can share, you can type in the chat how this statement, I or someone like myself can judge a person, but no normal person should judge another, for he or she will fall. Look into your own circumstances, how you could have judged wrongly, and how, you can look at it in any angle. Yeah. I want you to spend about 1 minute to think about that. And if you want to share, feel free to type.
So, Teacher Rachel, so what you want us to comment on?
When you look at this statement by Lord Buddha, how can it help you? Or I don't want to give a very oh, you must do this, you must do this. What is the thing? Like, there's something to share. Later we'll mention about that. Anything that when you look at this statement, how can it help you think about it?
Okay, can you show the statement again?
If you want to type in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. Before you unmute, I like to talk about what Zane wrote here. I really love that. Maybe Buddha wants us to learn to become like himself, one who sees things with emptiness, with valid perception, rather than abstaining from it. Yeah, which is true. That's why they teach us logic. logic is to see things, things are empty of self nature. But because we are in the lower school, we don't say emptiness, we say selflessness. Selflessness, no self. Yeah. So when I learn this, I'll bring to my mind, say, what are the things that I've done, how I judge other people, or how I interpret that, or how I conceptualize that. And is that true or not? Do I really know them? So logic helps us to see more clearly. Yeah, maybe what Raymond says is correct. Yeah. Yes. That is the word maybe in our context when we say judging for all different level of people for easy understanding. Yeah, maybe. Rache, I also like what Rache wrote. She said, Buddha who knows everything will help everyone with logic, but me, who are normal with limited vision, will become judging with invalid logic and perception. Yeah, very well said. I knew. Yeah, I really love this one. Wow, this is the one that hit it at the right spot. In my opinion, these quotes remind us not create more bad deeds when we have not seen emptiness directly. Yes, this is the thing. Before I start to criticize or judge others, I'll stop for a moment and remind me about the emptiness of the person or the situation outside. After that, I think I will change the way to talk with others. Yes, exactly. Instead of judging, ask them a question to help them overcome their bad deeds. Very good. New. Who is new? I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, Angela. Is there anybody who can post here for Angela to refer? Emerald says, what we see and think about another are projected from our seeds we did in the past. Actually, we don't have a correct perception to understand clearly what is happening. Therefore, we will plant bad seeds when judging someone. Exactly. Exactly, Emerald. In this lower school, we say valid and correct, but in a higher school, it's valid, but it's not correct. Like what you say, yeah, we cannot see everything. So your perception may be valid, but it's not correct. But in the lower school, it's okay, valid and correct. Thank you, Zane. Okay, since we have a little bit of time, I noticed that when I finished ACI 4, the whole session, they always talk about logic, but they never tell me, they never really tell me, air-tight reasoning. They never show me at all, That's why it was that day I asked Mixed Nut, I went to ask Mixed Nut. I said, I don't have proper logic. Okay, I cannot think properly. Can you tell me how can I have airtight reasoning, And because I know I learned from ACI 2, we learn reasoning. Remember the three statement? Do you remember or not? 1 and 3 related. Then if 3, then 2, positive necessity, right? If -2, then -3, negative necessity. Thank you, Rache, for nodding. Right. So that is the thing that I know from ACI 2, but through the whole ACI 4, I never see anything that they teach me how to do airtight reasoning, I don't know. They just tell me this one, yeah. But how I know? How I know whether is this airtight reasoning or not? So I was trying very hard to figure out how. And then I went to Mixed and I asked. Then they were telling me this same three statement. So I tried to apply. I tried to apply. Then I tried to apply the ACI 2 that we learn. 1 and 3. Let me write down the statement, or maybe somebody want to help me. I write down now mine. Okay. Yes, let me see. I try to create the three statement from this one. Okay, let's try. Um, consider Lord Buddha. Okay, consider Lord Buddha. He can judge another. He can judge a person. Based on this statement, he can judge a person because he can read our mind, because he can see everything. Yeah. Okay, again, statement one, consider the Buddha. We learned that in ACI 2, right? He can judge a person because he can see everything, can read your mind. So let's check the relationship. This is extra, KL, don't worry. Okay, I keep only. Okay, the teacher never taught like that, nobody. I just want to apply what I learned. Okay, so 1 and 3, I try to check 1 and 3. Lord Buddha can see everything. Okay, yeah, okay. You say Lord Buddha can see everything. Okay, there's some relationship there. So if 3, then 2. If he can see everything, then he can judge a person. Yeah, because you can see everything. Yeah, he can judge a person. Okay, true. If you can see everything, then you can judge a person. Then -2, -3. If he can, -2, -3. Consider Lord Buddha. He can judge a person because he's omniscient, he can see everything. Okay, 3, -2, -3. He cannot judge a person. He cannot judge a person if he cannot see everything. Also correct. It's airtight reasoning. Okay. I said, oh, okay. So I'm trying to apply what I learned in ACI because they said, I don't know, but finally, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm so happy. Okay, maybe this is what, we should be doing. The 3 relationship apply from the ACI 2. That's why they say airtight reason. How I know you say my logic is not correct, then how I know my logic should be correct? So you use the 3 relationship to help you to see whether your logic work or not. You can apply another one. Say, consider my husband or my partner or my boyfriend. Okay. He doesn't love me anymore because he yell at me nowadays. He always yell at me. Okay. If he loved me, he would not yell at me, right? So that's our logic. That is my logic. So let's work on the 3 relationship. Okay. Consider my partner or my boyfriend or my husband. That's a relationship. That's statement number 1. He doesn't love me anymore because he yelled at me. Okay, my partner yelled at me. Yeah, he yelled at me, like he's yelling at me. You see, he yelled at me. You see? So if he yelled at me, 3-2. If he yelled at me, it means he doesn't love me. If he yelled at me, he doesn't love me. Is it true? So we have to ask ourselves. If he yelled at me, he doesn't love me. So you have to work on that. So if a mother, I want to ask you, if a mother yelled at the kid, means the mother never loved the kid, is it? That's not the reason is out. That is how they help you to think clearly. It's very useful, I'm applying that nowadays, really. You work on the 3 relationship. Very interesting. The higher school, Prasangika, Madhyamika, they like to use this absurd, what they call it, the English word. Like they just like shortcut, just like they ask like that, then your logic is out already. I say, okay, so that means you're the father or the mother yell at the kids means the mother doesn't love the kid, huh? So your logic is already out. Yeah. So it's not correct. Your logic is not correct already. It's already thrown out. Very interesting, right? So the more I now work on that, I start to love logic more and more. Otherwise, last time I say, yo, what is this? I cannot understand a single thing. Not a single thing, really. Okay, so I really just want to let you know what is okay, we have new rules for ACI 4. I want you to do your homework and your quiz and your meditation before the next class as far as you can. And you have to fill in the Google form, not Google form, the Google sheet that my student will create, because I don't want you to accumulate your homework your quiz and your meditation because it's not good. Okay. And you find that it's not fun. After a while, you don't enjoy the learning. You try to the best of your, I never say you must promise because I don't want you to plant bad seeds, but I really hope to see you doing that. You know, during our time, that time, during my time, we learn 1 week, 2 classes, even worse than you, leh. You only 1 week, 1 time, leh, We got 2 classes, Before I can understand the first class, I already got the second class, And then you have to rush for the homework, the quiz, and the meditation. And we have to show our teacher. Every time in the class, we have to show our homework, quiz that we have done. Now you only 1 week, 1 time. Sometimes a holiday, I don't see you for 2 weeks. Yeah. And sometimes like February, I might cancel class again if I have a board meeting because I don't know the dates and they just came up with the date. If I cannot cope, if there's a lot of paper I have to read, then I might want to cancel the class. Yeah. So you have at least once a week, So I really hope that you can do your homework, your quiz, and fill in your grades. Remember, the homework is open book. Fill in the grades after that. The quiz, they take the question from the homework. So maybe you only learn 3 questions, and that you have to memorize, close, quickly do it. And then grade yourself. Finish. And then you have to do your meditation. My student will post the Google Sheet. Okay, we will post the exact Google Sheet that we send to the ACI Dean because we have trouble, it's not easy, then they have to copy one by one because the one that we give you that is not the same that we send to the ACI Dean. We will give you the exact one. So please fill in properly. Okay. And I really hope that you can do that. Yeah. Okay. So now we have 14 minutes. I want to do a quick review what we did today. Okay, what we did today would be, I start off with telling you why logic is so important. Because if we just based on seeds, it can finish. And when things get hard, we will tend to what kind of morality, it will be thrown out of the window already, right? If you understand why you have to do that, then it's different. We have a strong basis why you have to do certain things. Okay, and that is the sales pitch. So then we learn logic. It's not that we are not having any logic. We do have logic, but the logic that we have is faulty logic that cause problem in our life. Like we say, if I lie, I can get the job. I can get the contract. Yeah. If I steal, I can get the money. Okay. Okay, before I review again, let me see the message that I have not read. Let me finish the message first. Yeah, Angela say correct. Yeah, in essence, the Lord Buddha is omniscient. He can see everything. So he can, of course, if he can see everything, he can read our mind. That is different from we who have not seen emptiness. Raymond say, but why fall to the 3 lower realm? Why fall to the 3 lower realm? Say, because I judge, like I said, our behavior is driven, our decision is driven by the limited information that I have that I think I very geek out. I think I know everything. I say, yeah, this person is so terrible, so irresponsible, lazy, and useless. Okay, let's not friend that person. Okay, not include that person. You see what I do? Everything, I'm not, then I talk to you harshly because I look down on you, And then I said, okay, then I talk bad about you. I said, wait, tell you what, no, Raymond, you know what, like that, Okay, so you see, then you plant the seeds to alienate people. So those bad seeds, because like I know where you're coming from. I say, yeah, it's a bad seed. Why go to the 3 lower realm? I don't know. I'm not Lord Buddha. Okay, so I just say that if it's a bad seed, then you can possible to go. Maybe you can go to the 3 lower if that seed ripen at the time of death. Yeah, maybe when it grows so big. Yeah. Okay. Then Lord Buddha, Zen said, Lord Buddha is judging without judging. He's seeing things clearly with wisdom while remaining free from emotional, judgmental mind like us exactly. No. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I've not seen and felt Buddha judge anyone when I watch Buddha's life, and I think this sentence not means we should judge other when we become a Buddha in the future. Exactly. Maybe if you can think of a better word, please suggest. Yeah, like what Jenny mentioned, the word has a connotation in a negative sense, but I can't think of any other word, and this is not written by me anyway. Okay. Yeah, yeah, it's translated in that way. Yeah, if we have a better word, maybe we can tell mix nut or tell somebody. Probably they can consider. We never know. Yeah. And just now I was doing a review, right? Then I moved into, okay, yeah. Oh, Emerald say her English name is Anna. Okay, okay, please get well. So I just reviewed that we did valid perception, normal unaffected perception. Why? Because the definition of existence in Buddhist is that which is perceived by valid perception. If it is perceived by valid perception, then we validate the things exist. And I give the example of anger. You cannot think straight. So the thing that you see, that you think you see, doesn't exist. And I give another example of jealousy. The thing that we see doesn't exist because it's not perceived by valid perception. And we also say that, does that mean that if there are things that I cannot see, I cannot hear, things that I cannot smell, I cannot taste, I cannot touch, does that mean that they don't exist? We don't know. And so logic helps us to grow our ability to see clearly, to establish the existence of things like we cannot see, like past and future lives, Buddha, Nirvana, whether they exist or not. And if we could prove that they exist, then it's as good as seeing with our eye. So logic is our third eye, clear thinking, the ability to see clearly. And then we go into the source, where they come from. Okay, we talk about the source, the lineage, okay, that you have to memorize. I don't know, maybe it's only in the homework, not in the quiz. And it's so important to show us that it's coming from an authentic lineage. Okay? And remember, this is what we are learning, logic, is one of the 5 great books in Buddhism, one of the 5 great texts. And we are in the lower school. Remember, we are in the lower school, logic school. And then we learn about curriculum, the 13-year-old, what they learn in a monastery, Dura and Takrik. Right? And we say, oh, I learned all these things, In Dura, there are 3 important subjects there, right? Definition, outline all existing things, and the Chichadra. And it's so important because they can lead you to see emptiness directly. And therefore, but remember the story I love the most. I say, without that story, I cannot remember, Here you learn, here I go out already. So that story, that Kashila in the monastery temple in New Jersey, the old Mongolian monk that was dying, and he was reading this book, Dura, 13-year-old book. And Kashila is just like, why, Kashila, you're dying. Why are you reading this Dura, a 13-year-old book? And what he said, this is what I want, my mind. This is what I want my mind to have when I die. Right? What he said, right? This is what I want in my mind when I pass on, when I die. Because they can help you to see emptiness directly. Logic helps you to see how we are creating the mental image in our mind. And then we talk about J. Tsongkhapa. J. Tsongkhapa's disciple, Gao Sabje. Gao Sabje on the left. He said, the kindest thing that J. Tsongkhapa ever did for him was teach him logic. That shows us how important it is, because that is the key to seeing emptiness directly. Logic helps us to develop this clear thinking, okay, starting with intellectually, and then eventually lead us to see emptiness directly, because we see how we are creating, how we are making this mental image in our mind, how we are creating this mental image, and then lay on the object. And we end with Lord Buddha's statement, very, very, very important statement that you have to memorize. I or someone like myself can judge a person, but no normal person can judge. No normal person should judge another. They use the word should, but no normal person should judge another, for he or she will fall. So Raymond asked, why fall? Why fall? Why fall to the three lower rim? Because we do bad deed. So I don't know why the bad deed we have to fall. Okay, but maybe that seed when they ripen, we don't know, right? They are there long enough, grow so big, right? And then when they ripen at the point at death, it could send us to the three lower realm. And that end our class today. Wow, nice. Zane dedicating. Okay, so we are going to do a dedication, yeah, now. Today's timing just nice. And I invite you to close your eyes. Think about the 1.5 hours that you spend here. And if it is true that you are listening, you're trying to learn in this class, then if it is true you're trying to learn and listen in this class, then the seeds that you collect will bring you from A to B. Will bring you from A, where you are right now, the challenges that you're facing, to B, to seeing a perfect world. And open your eyes when you're ready. Okay. That wraps up our class today. I won't be doing quiz this round. Okay, in between